Welcome back to the Proximity is Power podcast. We got Blake Erickson in the house today. Blake, thanks for coming on, bro.
So pumped to be here, brother.
Dude, I'm freaking stoked. A little bio on Blake, if you don't know who he is. He's done 5 years in the good old door-to-door sales industry, pest control. We actually met for the first time when we were both working at Aptive, ended up both leaving, and he's dominated. So in his 5-year career, he's responsible for over $30 million in revenue, which is insane. Dude, that's crazy. We're going to talk about that. He's also in the process of co-authoring a book called Rapid Transformation with Benjamin Hardy. And Benjamin Hardy, if you don't know who he is, he's got like a bunch of New York Times best-selling books. What's the one that he's...
10x is easier than 2x.
10x is easier than 2x is probably his most famous one. I'm like kind of embarrassed because I haven't read it, but I've heard so many people talk about it, and it's insane that Blake's co-authoring his next book, which I'm stoked for because, yeah, we just were at a conference and Benjamin was talking about what's in it. Basically, well, we'll get into it, but basically how to achieve impossible goals, which is insane. So he's also married with 1 kid and 1 on the way, which is awesome. I'm about to be a dad here soon, so we'll have to jam on that a little bit. Thanks.
It's my biggest flex.
Yeah. He's a real estate investor, and he is the host of the podcast called Modern Day Hero. And he interviewed our boy Gatlin, the window washer guy from episode before, Gatlin McBride. He's a beast. So go check out Modern Day Hero, especially Blake's a beast. He just interviewed Dan Martell. So like, go check that episode out for sure. Go give Blake a follow, but freaking stoked for today.
Thanks, man. I'm pumped to jam. I told you before the pod, I said, I wish I could just ask you a bunch of questions, bro. So we'll do a pod swap.
Dude, this is gonna be fun. So Blake, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Gilbert, Arizona. Was there up until 2016.
Okay.
It was a great place to live. Amazing family. I'm one of 7 kids. It's 6 boys. The last one's a girl. Amazing parents. And then served my mission 2016 in Lima, Peru for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's where my life began, man. I like to think it just changed everything for me and changed my paradigms and how I see the world, and got a lot of clarity of what I wanted out of life and what kind of life I wanted to live. And that's kind of the first 18 years or so of my life.
How where do you fall in that family?
Yeah, so I'm third oldest.
Third oldest. Awesome. So grew up in Arizona. Did you play sports?
Yeah, played football.
Nice.
And it was kind of I was like 5'8" in high school. I think my 40-yard dash was like 5'2", so I'm slow. Can't jump, but I played wide receiver, which is so funny. I think I was really good at catching the ball.
Yeah.
But I was obsessed with football, man. So that was the first time I learned in my life, like, how to pay the price for something.
Yeah.
And like how to sacrifice and work to get a reward.
That's awesome.
And I learned so much from the game.
Dude, 5'2" is not bad for high school though. Come on. 5'2" is pretty good.
Fair enough.
Dude, that's awesome. So played football. Growing up, did you have an idea of what you wanted to do for a career?
Not at all. I think when I graduated high school, I was thinking going into physical therapy.
Cool.
Yeah, which is just...
Dude, that's so common. Like, I was thinking about that too. Like, how sick would it be to be this sports doctor?
Yeah,
like
you want to be connected.
College team or NFL.
It's funny.
That's awesome. So sports doctor maybe. And then you graduated in 16?
Graduated in 16.
Okay.
One thing that I always struggled with, which was self-induced, but I was never good at school. And that's on me. I take responsibility for it. So the thought of ever being a doctor or doing therapy is just the craziest thing in the world, because I can't sit in a class for more than 30 minutes.
So like, tell me about that. Like, you had bad grades, or like you didn't test well?
Very average grades. Never liked doing homework, and I could never do well on a test.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had a really hard time studying. And the reality is when I didn't feel like it had long-term gain for me, I had a hard time buying into why I should learn it, which ultimately led me to become obsessed with learning things that did have long-term gain.
Awesome.
And I like to think that I'm more committed to education than anybody else in the world, but in just a little bit of a different way than most.
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. When did you start down that self-education journey, would you say?
Yeah, so got back from my mission 2018. And the first thing I did when I got back, I had a mission president who retired at 35. And it like blew my world because I had never met someone that had retired at a super young age like that. And so it caused me to start thinking, how could I do something similar? So the first week I got back from my mission, I interviewed the top 10 most successful people I knew in my ward or in the city of Gilbert, Arizona. And a lot of them would always say, like, read this, read that, go do this, go learn, like, go watch YouTube.
Yeah.
And so I did that. And so the first year and a half of being home, literally I was in school, but I always had an AirPod in. I always had something playing in my car, whether it was Audible, YouTube, you know how it is. And so I was consuming probably 8 to 10 hours of audio content a day.
Dude, I freaking love you.
So, to the point where I was jamming 1-2 books a week, multiple YouTube videos. And
why are we the same person, so bro? Dude, I'm so excited to interview you because, bro, like me and Blake reconnected recently, and bro, I am just blown away at how hungry this kid is.
You're
and I'm like, bro, man. I want to be around you more. Like I'm really impressed. But like, dude, same with me with the education. Like my dad took me to lunch like senior year, and he sat me down. He's like, Gage, what are your plans? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, well, I'm going to say this. The biggest.
Where were you at right now in life? Were you high school? I was going through the motions?
Sorry. I was 2 months away. I was like 5 months away from graduating high school. So it was right after my senior year of football. Yeah, sorry, I should preface with that. Good. But he sat me down, and this was like one of the most pivotal conversations ever. But he said the number one thing that's made me the most successful in life are the books I've read and the people I've met. And that lesson right there changed my life. So the people you meet and the books you read. And so right there, he's like, do you remember that stack of books I gave you for Christmas last year? And I'm like, yeah, I hadn't touched them, right? He's like, you haven't read any of them, right? I'm like, yeah, I haven't. Like, they look like not kind of boring. And he's like, I'll tell you what, I'll pay you $10 per book you read. And $10 wasn't a lot, but my dad, you know, that was a lot. Well, that wasn't like he's killing it, but he's pretty frugal. He's smart with his money. And so I'm like, okay, like he's serious about this. So I started reading these books, and I got obsessed with them. And then I started taking people to lunch that were successful, and I tried to do one a week. And then I tried to read. I heard the average CEO read 52 books a year, and I'm like, I'm gonna read freaking 104. Like I'm gonna double that shit. Like, and I did. Like that year, I read like 150 books.
Wow.
Yeah, like dude, same with you. Like if I wasn't doing something, I had like my AirPods in listening to books. If I was cooking, if I was exercising, if I was in the car, if I was on a bike ride, like always being fed Tony Robbins, like all the books. Yeah. So dude, that's awesome. So you started school, Arizona, and just got on this self-education path. And then what happened?
And then, so I did a year and a half. I was 2 credits away. I was a math class away from getting my associates at UVU. And I went out that summer to do my first year of summer sales. And I learned so much that summer. It was the application of everything I'd been learning over the last year and a half. So it was fun to put to the test. And I made $118,000 in 4.5 months. And so
your first summer,
my first summer,
that's so sick.
So when I looked at it, and without having any ego or pride, I just said, hey, if I go graduate college and I go the college route, I can go make 60, 70 grand. If all else were to fail, I know I could always go back to door and make $100,000. And so I said, because college was always go get a certificate, go do kind of plan B option. It was never, I'm trying to go get a job. I always want to be an entrepreneur. And so at that point, college didn't make a ton of sense for my path. And so then I dropped out. And then I went all in on building an organization and playing a little bit more long-term of a game within summer sales. And once again, going and applying everything I'd listened to on YouTube, Tony Robbins books over the last 2 years. And that's when things started to get really fun.
Wow. Okay, wait, so how did you make $118K your first summer? Was that like where were you selling that summer?
I went to the Bay Area.
Bay Area with Active.
Yeah.
How'd you get recruited to Active? What happened?
So I had my best friend since preschool got recruited by our high school quarterback. And so naturally I just wanted to go with some of my best buds.
Cool.
I actually had a lot of pride against not doing summer sales because I wanted to be an entrepreneur without having to go the typical route that I feel like everyone goes. But as I was trying to start all these companies and not really any of them panning out, I'm seeing all my friends go out and buy real estate, crushing it during the summer. And I'm like, man, why don't I should just do it, you know? So that's kind of how I went about. And I negotiated to make sure that if I excelled at the highest level, that I could get paid at the highest level. And I kind of just bet on myself, and I went out and serviced 470 accounts that summer.
Baller.
And man, it was awesome.
Your first summer you did 470.
Yeah, it was great.
Dude,
man.
that's awesome.
It was fun.
My second summer I sold 472.
Look at that.
And made 100K.
Attaboy.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Thanks, man.
So you freaking crush it, and then you get back and you're like all in, basically.
Yeah.
Like you saw the opportunity. Because like what's cool about door to door is you kind of can build your own business within the business.
Yeah.
You can get paid high commission, but then you can get paid to bring talent on and train them up and get paid overrides. So just went all in, started recruiting. And did you do year 2 with Active too?
Did year 2 with Active.
How'd that go?
It was wonderful, man. They honestly took great care of me. I had 40 guys start the summer and made $400,000 that summer.
Bro.
And once again, man, it was just another life-changing year. What was cool about it is my life was significantly impacted. But I think we finished with 36. Those 36 individuals had life-changing experiences, growth, learning, and income opportunity that was big for them.
Dude, that's awesome. How did transitioning going from like a high-level sales rep to like a big-time leader?
Yeah, it was fun for me. I think leadership's always been a gift that I've had. And so I never saw myself as a salesman from the beginning. I always saw myself more as a leader, as a business owner. And so I felt more at home, kind of leading and managing. And then I also love the autonomy of feeling like I could control the culture, could kind of influence the experience that people were having versus it being subject to a company or a region. I liked having control over people's experiences and what they were having input and output in.
Dude, that's awesome.
Thanks.
So was that, what city did you sell year 2?
That was Bay Area as well.
Okay.
So we had 2 teams.
Heck yeah.
Bay North and I think it was Bay South.
Awesome. Dude, wow. And then transition to Hawks.
Yeah.
And continue to dominate, basically.
We tried to.
Tell us the stats, year 3, year 4, year 5.
So year 3, then we went to, I think we had 125 reps, finished the summer. We did a little over 7 million in rev.
Wow.
That summer I made $1 million, and
This is crazy. Okay, keep going.
Summer 4 we doubled reps, but we only did 9.3 in rev.
Yeah.
And my learning that summer was we had a ton of quantity. We grew rapidly, but it was way more quantity focused versus quality focused.
Yeah.
So and also when you have a ton of people, what people don't realize is the cons of that is your bandwidth is spread significantly. A lot more training, a lot more liability, a lot more headaches, a lot more phone calls, a lot more complaints, you know. And so when we regrouped after year 4, we said, cool, what's the strategy going into year 5, taking our learnings? And we said, okay, it's going to be all quality focused. We're going to be very selective. We're going to be very picky. And everyone says they're going to do that.
But nobody does.
But we're like, we're actually going to do it.
Yeah.
And so we went back. We went backwards about 100 reps.
Yeah.
I think we finished the summer 115, 120 reps, and we did more revenue than we did the year before.
So badass.
Sick,
Your per rep average just blew up.
Yeah. I think it doubled.
Yeah. That's
which was an amazing learning, dude.
Dude, that's such a good point. And I've learned that over the years. Like quality over quantity when it comes to recruiting. Like that is such a big secret.
Yeah.
Because it wins both sides. Like it's easier as a leader when you recruit studs to help them excel. And like I feel like everybody that comes onto a team is either like an elevator, like they elevate the team, or they're like downward spiral on the team. I need a word. What's opposite of an elevator?
Cancer.
Well, I guess a downwards elevator. Cancer. Yes, like everyone either elevates the team or like hurts the team. And I'm like, if I hire this kid, like sure, maybe he could do average or below average, but he's going to hurt the team probably.
Yeah.
Like, and if you just focus on hiring people that you think could excel the team and you have a bunch of those people on like the same team, magic happens. Like that's what I learned this last year. Like we had the least amount of guys and our per rep averages was insane, but everybody on that team was like a stud. And it just, everyone fed off each other and we had such good culture.
It's amazing.
And like it gives the rep too the best experience because you make it a win-win for them. Like they're going to elevate the team, they're going to help everybody, and they're going to crush it because they're a stud.
Yep.
And it's not, that's awesome.
Well, now they want to come back. Now they want to grow.
Exactly.
Now they want to go and replicate and duplicate the same thing. So,
dude, that's
great.
badass.
Thanks, man.
Dude, you're insane, bro. I didn't even like Blake's a beast, guys. Blake, how old are you?
26.
26, dude. I'm 26 too. When's your birthday?
Let's go, bro. April 29th.
April. I'm August, so you got like a few months on me. But dude, that's awesome. Okay, so have a ton of success, lots of lessons. And then so this last summer was the big year with the high per rep average. Yeah. You cut half your team pretty much and just focused on quality.
Yeah. That's
huge. And then you've been investing in real estate. So you weren't the kid that went out and made $100K and bought a Lamborghini.
I hope not. Chandler Smith actually was super inspirational. Everyone knows Chandler. Watch him on YouTube.
He's a beast.
And then some of these Vivint guys that go and create some awesome wealth as well. But I just knew from the beginning when I was 20, when I left my mission, I said, I want to retire by 29. And I could make $5 million a year, but until I'm making that money grow, I can't sleep well at night. And so I knew just from the beginning that I'd allocate as much as I made possible into assets. And Jeffrey Mendez always talks about go broke buying assets, and that was kind of always my theme. And so that's what I've tried to do year after year. And I truly I've lost a lot of money in a lot of different things. At the beginning, I was doing stocks, crypto, tried Amazon store, tried doing like these
NFTs.
Yeah, dude, you name it. So I tried it all. And I didn't really hone in until like my third year of like, cool, I'm just going to invest everything in real estate. And that's the only thing. So I can go an inch wide, mile deep. And since I've done that, it's helped me a ton. Tax wise, it's helped me a ton. Just return on investment wise. And then also it's fun because you learn a ton. It's hands on, and you get to then go teach your reps how to go do the same. So it's been a really fun investment to play with, and it's been great learning for me.
Dude, that's awesome.
Thanks, bro.
Dude, I love real estate. Chandler was the goat too that got me into it.
Good.
I had heard and Corbin Church, I gotta give him credit. Right. And the Vivint boys, like Casey and Jeff, like Yeah, they were trying to recruit me since my rookie year because my buddy Zach was at Vivint the same year I started, and so they were inviting me to all the real estate and the investing stuff, which was super sick for me to have my eye on from the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, awesome. And then you started a podcast, Modern Wisdom. When did you start that? This year?
Let's see. It was January of last year.
Cool.
I was in a mastermind with Brody Fawcett.
Uh-huh.
And
who's mastermind?
It's Brody's mastermind. Cool. It's called Dreaming Bigger Faster. And my word of the year was leverage. And he was just talking about like how content could bless your life, making content, just kind of building a little bit more of an online brand. And once again, I was super resistant towards doing it. But what changed my mind is we were sitting in this mastermind. We'd each paid him $15,000. And Brody said, raise your hand if we met through Instagram. And there's 15 people there. 13 of them raised their hand.
Wow.
So he made $15,000 times 13. I'm not sure what the math was, simply by branding himself through Instagram. And so that was the day that it clicked for me. And I said, it's just infinite leverage.
Infinite.
Why would I not be utilizing this? And so from there I said, cool, I'm going to do a podcast. Really good place to obviously learn from people, connect, but it's also a great content builder.
Yeah.
For organic content to post. So yeah, man.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I was kind of the same way. I was super hesitant. Even today, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's scary, dude.
I'm like, why'd I say that? Or I look so dumb. Or I looked ugly that day or whatever. But I'm like, doesn't matter. Just full send into the pod. And
it's paid off, bro.
Oh,
I see your stuff all the time.
Dude, it's awesome. Yeah, because I mean, for me, like starting the pod, I used to try to interview successful people. I take them to lunch once a week. Like that was my goal, once a week. Like Brigham Lindsay, Chase Williams, Casey Boss, like those, like just people that I looked up to in any walk of life. Like we talk about like financial people a lot, but like every walk of life, like my chiropractor who has all these health hacks, you know? But yeah, dude, the podcast has been super sick because while I was doing it, I was like doing the lunches. I'm like, well, I can't, like I used to have like record on voice memo on my phone and I have like 50 of these lunches and I'm like, the audio's shitty. Like I can't really share this with people. But like, I'm like, why not just do a pod and record them? I can go back to them. And then not only that, like my guys can go listen to them and get the same like nuggets I'm getting in these conversations and they're life changing. Like proximity is power, you know, like who you spend your time with determines your life, determines the outcomes, the results, the quality of your life. And like, I'm just like, I could give everyone proximity through these conversations. And that's why I'm like, let's call the podcast Proximity's Power, you know? And my dad was absolutely right. You know, like he's like the two biggest things that made me the most successful are the people I've met and the books I've read. And I can say for like no doubt in my mind, that's true. And that's been true for me too, as I'm sure it has for you.
No, I love that, dude. And I think some of these higher level people don't want to go to lunch, but they'd love to go on a pod.
Oh,
so I think it's,
dude, absolutely.
For anybody that's out there that wants to connect with higher level people, podcast is a phenomenal excuse to do so.
It's awesome.
And just like you said, dude, I think everybody is one person away from going to the next level. One piece of information, one connection, one thing that's just gonna jump you to whatever you're trying to do next.
Dude, I'm talking way too much. I want to keep talking about you, but dude, that's so true. Like that's like the Ed Milet, right? One more.
Yeah. One
person, one door, one conversation away from changing your whole life. And dude, you and Brody put on this event this last weekend. Dude, game changer for me. Cause like, okay, I didn't know Brody. Me and Brody met at a Tony Robbins event.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we went to Business Mastery back. That was my first Tony Robbins event with Casey Ball, the Vivint boys. I was so lucky that I got invited to that. I don't know how. Casey saw something in me. I don't know. I'm sure Casey's such a giving guy. Like he just gives, you know? But anyway, met Brody and we didn't really like link up or anything after that, but Brody went off and started real estate investing school. And then I've been following Bigger Pockets and the real estate stuff. Well, while learning about how to get in real estate. And I saw Brandon Turner, after he left Bigger Pockets, start his own podcast, and Brody Fawcett came on the pod. And I listened to that this summer.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, holy shit, like Brody Fawcett, like a kid I knew, was on Brandon Turner's show, which Brandon Turner's like the GOAT of real estate investing, like has a bunch of books out, hosted the biggest investing show on the planet. And I messaged Brody on Instagram right when I listened to the pod. It was such a sick podcast if you haven't listened to it. I messaged Brody. I'm like, how in the hell did you get on Brandon Turner's podcast? And he was just laughing, and I was kind of fanboying a little bit. But then Brody this weekend puts on an event with David Green, the other Bigger Pockets guy, you know, Brandon Turner, Blake, like Chandler Smith, like all of the GOATs, and invites me to go hang out with them after the event at dinner and then at Dave Allred's house. And dude, I got to talk to Brandon Turner for like 3 hours.
Yeah, forever, dude.
Bro, I was just like, wherever he was, I just go listen to conversations or ask him questions. But dude, it's crazy. It's like, okay, I knew Brody, and then Brody knew Brandon, and now I know Brandon. And like my whole life's changed. Like, I told my wife I could die a happy man after meeting Brandon Turner. He was probably laughing at me because I was just like starstruck talking to him. But dude, what I like about Brandon, dude, is he's just like a good dude in every area of life. Like, there's people that you can look up to in one area, but then you're like this, and this I wouldn't want to emulate. But like Brandon, dude, he's just from what I know, like, dude, he's got a good like faith. Yeah. He's got a good family. He does business in a really good way that I respect and like. He's super honest. He gives before asking for anything. Like, and dude, meeting him in person, like people say don't meet your heroes, but dude, he's exactly what I thought he'd be. And even better, I'd say, like more sincere. But anyway, dude, I could go on and on.
That's cool.
Don't you agree though?
100%, man.
So dude,
I resonate with those people a ton.
Dude, thanks to you for putting that on. And
you're welcome,
dude.
Bro.
You freaking balled out as an MC too. Like it was.
That's kind.
You really did.
I appreciate that.
Your sales skills came to play, but dude, it was awesome. Wow, bro. Holy shiz. And bro. So let's talk about next. Let's talk about how in the hell did you become the co-author with freaking Benjamin Hardy on his next book? Like, what the freak, bro?
So 4 years ago, I was out in Orlando, Florida, visiting my mission president, and he had me over for dinner, and then Ben Hardy was there, and they're kind of in the same.
So they're friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we connected then, and then ever since we've stayed in touch. 6 months ago, I get a nudge from God, for real. And he just said, call Ben Hardy. I'm like, all right, I will. I didn't call him. A week later, he nudges me again. He's like, call Ben Hardy. And I forget to do it. And then a week later, he says, call Ben Hardy. And I call him right then. Call Ben, and I said, Ben, I want to be a resource. I just want to be a resource for you. I have no agenda. I have no idea how. But I feel like I'm supposed to call you and just tell you that I want to help you out. Anyways, we continued chatting. It's been 6 months since then. And hundreds of conversations. But since then, I told him, I said, hey, you have these amazing books. Tons of people are reading them. Sold over 1 million copies. And you should push people to something. Like if they're going to read your books, push them to something that may teach them the application or something like that. So long story short, we're creating that together. We're creating a company that is going to teach the application of his content in his curriculum. It's called Strategic Scaling.
So badass.
Thanks, bro. And he's going to continue to write amazing content, amazing books. And I'm here to help refine the ideas and train the ideas. And that's kind of the next venture for me. And along the way, one of the things that came to mind is I've always had a goal. I do the top 10 exercise every day.
Shout out Casey Baugh.
Yeah. And one of those things that I put every single morning is be New York Times bestselling author. And
dude, I put that on too, but
yeah.
I haven't connected with it. Dude, that's crazy. Okay, so that's been on the goal.
It's
forever.
For 12 months.
Okay.
And dude, we could go deep into top 10,
yeah.
but I've had some crazy experiences that somehow things just pan out and the world and God just starts putting things together, and that was one of them. And I was going out to Orlando to meet up with Ben. I just said, hey, would it be crazy to consider me be a co-author on these books that we're training on and that we're teaching on? And he said it would be crazy. And
it would be crazy. Really would. It would be crazy because had he finished the book already?
Not quite.
Okay.
But the reality is I'm not on his level at all. My brand's not on his level at all. He's very well known. Me being on his book does not accelerate his brand in any way.
But it would yours.
But it massively accelerates mine.
Oh, yeah.
And so, anyways, because of that, we chatted and he told me how it would make sense to do so. And I showed him that I was committed to doing it. And here we are, and the book launches in about, it gets, the publishing phase is quite a while. So it'll launch in July, and we look forward to it. So that gives you the high level.
So badass. Yeah. Like, bro, I didn't know about that at all. And then Benjamin Hardy came and spoke this weekend too. He was one of the speakers. And dude, he talked about his next book and how you're going to be the co-author. And I'm just sitting in my chair. I'm like, bro, I thought Blake was like insane, but like this is a new level of insane. Like bold, bro. Dude, but it's so sick. What do the people say? Like boldness changes the world? I don't know, but you're changing the world, bro.
I believe the future belongs to those that ask.
That future belongs to the bold and the people that ask. That's awesome. So, July 2025.
That's right. Stay tuned.
Guys, go get freaking all of Ben's books. Go read them before this next one. He said out of all the books, this next one's going to be the most insane. Yeah. And him talking about it, about achieving impossible goals, like the mindset and the psychology behind it and how to do it, mind-blowing stuff. He kind of gave us some sneak peek stuff about it. So, I took freaking crazy notes.
Good. Good. The framework works. It's special.
Dude, it's crazy, man. Life's crazy, bro. It's just crazy. It's crazy how much different people's ideas can influence you and change your life immediately. And you can see the change immediately.
Yeah.
And that's why books are cool, because it's a form of proximity. Somebody goes and studies, something for 40 years and then writes all of their best tips in a book that you can read in 8 hours or listen on Audible, in 6 hours. Like, you literally get to be in their mind for a little bit, and you start to think like they think. And if you start thinking like they think, doing what they do, you get the same results. And most people can read, but they don't read.
Yeah. Well, everybody always says first thing you need to do is find a mentor.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, who's going to mentor me? It's like,
who would want to mentor me? Yeah.
I don't care if they're dead or alive, or if you can never talk to them.
Yeah.
These authors could be the best mentors in the world for you.
Oh, yeah. Casey Baugh, like
Stephen Covey.
Yeah. He named his daughter Covey after him. I don't know if I think he met him once, but like Casey's like, all of my mentors, most of them don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Like, it's through the books.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins, I wrote him a note once and he smiled at me and waved, but like I actually did shake his hand. I was sick.
That's sick.
But like, besides that, like he doesn't know who the hell Gage Heward is, but I'm a freaking fanboy and I'm implementing what he tells me to implement, and it's life-changing. Like, it's life-changing. Yeah. And you've seen that too,
100%.
Bro, I love you.
I love you too,
I freaking am so glad we're friends now, because like, you're going to go on this tear. Like, I can feel it. Like, you're just gonna go put a dent in the world, bro.
Thank
like,
you, man.
You're
You
gonna
too,
have
brother.
such a good impact, and like, you're already making a difference. But like, holy shit, bro. I'm swearing way too much. My wife's gonna kill me for that on this. Holy crap. Holy crap. So, guys, go follow Blake. Like, he's just gonna make your life better. He really is. Him and Brody are such studs. Shout out Brody Fawcett too. Like, go follow Brody. Like, they're creating so much value, and it's just cool. Jimmy Rex one time told me, Jimmy Rex is probably one of the best networking people I know. You know, he's had like Ed Milet, Jim Quick, like Andy Frisella, like all these crazy, Jesse Itzler, like all these crazy people on his podcast. And I asked him, I took him to lunch. He was one of the guys I took to lunch. I begged him after he spoke at an active leadership meeting. And I'm like, Jimmy, how do you network? How do you get these guys on your podcast? And he's like, you got to pay to be in the room, especially at first. And you got to pay to be in the room. And I was like, that was kind of like the answer I didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I've paid.
It's so true.
I've paid to be in rooms, and you've paid to be in rooms. You paid to be in Brody Fawcett's my mastermind. And look where it's taken you.
Yeah.
I've paid to be in rooms like Tony Robbins' rooms, the people you meet. I paid this weekend $2,000 to go hang out with, you know, Brandon Turner. I paid to be in the room, and oh my gosh, like, you pay for proximity.
Yeah.
And like, you have to pay for proximity at the first, because these guys that have balled out, like, don't need you. like there's nothing that Brandon really needed from me. So like, why else would he talk to me? You know? And it's like, and I did. I thought of how I could add value to Brandon Turner, and I'm like, Brandon, I'm gonna, like, my job's to sell you on Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins, because I know how much you care about personal development, and there's no better investment I've made in my life than that. And I sold you on it too, huh?
Yeah, no, bro. Maybe we pay for Brandon.
Bro, we should. He committed. He committed to going in December 2026. So hit me up if you want to be in that group. We're gonna have some freaking beasts. 2025. Sorry, next December. Not this December, but next. But bro, this is crazy. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you believe that proximity is power? And if so, how important has it been in your life?
Dude, I love what you just said. I think my whole life, all the success that I've experienced, I can trace back to being in proximity with someone. Ben Hardy. None of this would have happened if I wasn't in proximity with my mission president.
Yeah.
Recruiting, building an organization. None of that would have been able to come to pass if I didn't been in proximity with great people, great builders, and created relationships where they trusted me and wanted to build an organization with me. And so I'd even go to the extent where I'd say 95% of every dollar I've ever made is due to proximity, and 95% of future dollars I make is due to proximity.
I 1000% agree with that statement. That's badass.
Yeah. And like even real estate, Corbin Church, Chandler Smith, once again, whether it's true, like I meet them in person, or whether it's virtually getting to know them through a book or YouTube, they taught me how to go and execute, how to go buy real estate. So my whole life is a testament of just people are the way to be successful. It's like people is the best strategy. And by identifying the right people, by getting in proximity with the right people, and that doesn't always mean like, oh, let's go for the big dogs. It's like, hey, who's at your same level or maybe beneath your level? I don't like to say that, but
yeah,
who's maybe currently not on your level.
That's a great point.
That you can get in proximity with, because you guys can go build things together as well.
Yeah.
And it might be an easier wall to break through at that point. And so Justin Prince talks about the 33% rule. 33% of your time should be with people beneath you. 33% of the time should be with people at your same level, and 33% of your time should be spent with people above you. I'm a big believer in that. And so that's how I think you create massive proximity, is by applying that rule.
Dude, I'm going to do whatever I can to try to stay that people at the same level.
Yeah.
You're actually at a higher level than me, but
No, bro.
Bro, dude, that's freaking sick. 30% people that you could help, 30% at your same level, and then 30% at a higher level. I love that. I haven't heard that, actually. That's sick.
Yeah, it's good.
And I agree with you too. Like, if you're first starting out, if you just graduated high school, like, and you're at level 1, let's say, like, don't go ask the guy at a level 1,000,000, like the Tony Robbins, to go to lunch.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Go ask the guy, you know, in your ward that has some rental properties to lunch, like maybe the level 10 or the level 50 or the level 100, before you go try to network with the guys at the highest level. Because, yeah, just start small, start where you're at, and just do what you can, you know? That's awesome. Dude, this has been such a fun episode already. This is
Good,
like,
man.
this is probably like one of my favorite ones I've done so far.
I'm glad, bro.
Who were some of your big mentors along the way, and why?
Yeah. I think when we were just talking about mentors, my greatest mentor of all time has been Jesus Christ. And it's special because his example influences me in everything I do, think, and say. And like, that level of mentorship is rare and hard to find. And so I'm so grateful for the life he lived and the things that he taught, because the application I have put in my own life of his teachings have reaped great reward for me. Napoleon Hill's been an amazing mentor for me. He wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. I attribute actually a lot of success early on to that book. My dad's been an amazing mentor. It's always fun having a unbiased mentor where you can call and you know that they'll either call you out or, you know, they're not going to tell you just what you want to hear. They'll tell you what you need to hear. Brody Fawcett's been a great mentor of mine. And then I've had hundreds of small little mentors along the way that have helped move the needle. My most recent greatest mentor has been Benjamin Hardy. Fortunate to chat with him on a daily basis, and he's taught me a lot. He thinks in a completely different way. He's got a brilliant mind. And those are a few to name.
Wow. Dude, I love what you said about Jesus, because I was thinking about it the other day, actually. I talked to my wife literally about this yesterday. I'm like, okay, I really, like, one of my favorite documentaries is The Last Dance.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan,
100%.
right? Because, like, the Mamba mentality, right, really comes from Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like I'd say it's the same mentality. The Mamba mentality is Michael Jordan's mentality. And, like, watching The Last Dance, if you haven't watched it on Netflix, go freaking watch it and study it. Like, the guy's insane. But I'm like, okay, I really like The Last Dance, but I haven't even finished watching The Chosen. Have you watched The Chosen?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Dude. And me and my wife have been watching it slowly, but I'm like, no, this shouldn't just be on a Sunday show to watch with you. Like, we should, like, I need to study this. Like, there's no better leader. There's no better example of how to live your life. And, like, he was the perfect example. And so, like, whose other life should you model, you know, better than the perfect example?
Yeah.
Dude, and you know what's really interesting that I've been thinking about too is, like, I feel like I've been in such a rush, like, to make stuff happen, and, like, from appointment to appointment, call to call, lunch to lunch, podcast to podcast. Like, I feel like it's hard for me to stay present, and, like, I feel like I'm cutting off meetings quickly because I'm, like, late for the other one. But what's interesting about Jesus, he was never rushed. Like, he was late to a lot of things too, but he wasn't in a rush. He wasn't in a hurry. Like, it was all in time. He was present with people. He helped people. He cared about people. And you know what? Who else does that? And you'll hear people talk about that, is Todd Peterson. Todd Peterson.
I've heard that.
So present, not in a rush, makes everybody around him feel important. And that's super interesting because, dude, nobody's done door-to-door better than Todd.
Yeah, 100%.
And, like, he's got that trait that Jesus has, you know? So I think that's one, like, interesting thing that I've thought about recently.
I like what you said. I'm thinking this as you're speaking. You said he was the perfect example, which is true.
Yeah.
But imagine having somebody that was perfect in leadership, perfect in management, perfect in communication, perfect in love. Like, dude, would you not want to just go devour everything that he's ever said?
Right.
Because it's like that. There's no one else that's ever come before or after that is perfect in that. And that's just intriguing to me to know that there was a perfect leader that I could go emulate and try to put that into my own game.
Wow. Best leadership book you could read is the Bible. Like, go study that thing. Yeah. Go study The Chosen. Like, I love The Chosen. Like, I love that they finally made a quality, you know, documentary about Jesus' life. And, dude, that's really cool. And, like, even John C. Maxwell, he's probably the biggest well-known person that talks or teaches or writes books about leadership, and he's a pastor. Like, he talks about Jesus all the time. Wow, really, really insightful. What else came to mind is Jesus teaches in parables and stories. And you know who's damn good at teaching in stories? 2 people come to mind. Well, 3. Tony Robbins, stories. Casey Baugh, stories. When I got recruited by Casey, he didn't bring up the spreadsheets and the numbers. He told me his story. And the story is what moved me emotionally. Yeah. I never signed with him, so maybe Casey, you gotta step up that.
We gotta talk about how you didn't, dude.
Dude.
I'll ask you after.
We will. But, dude, he talks in stories. You know who else? The third one I'd say is Brandon Turner. Dude, that guy's a wizard with stories and analogies, parables, right? Like,
the best recruiters are the best storytellers.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Dude, those are like some recent breakthroughs that I've had.
I love it.
Isn't that crazy though?
It, dude.
Anyway, dude, we could jam all day, bro. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit, but share with me your biggest failure. How did you overcome that failure, and how has failure shaped your life?
So, when I was 18 years old, I knew I wanted to serve a mission when I was like 14, like I was committed. I prepped a ton. My goal was to be the most prepared missionary to ever serve. And so I spent like a year before my mission reading everything, interviewing people. I took it super seriously to do everything I could to be like the perfect missionary. And I remember I went out on my mission with this expectation, just like, holy smokes, I'm going to crush, you know, I know everything I need to know. And I had this goal. I had this goal to help bring a certain amount of people into Christ through baptism. And I went out there, and for 10 months, I had like 0 success. I was probably the least successful missionary for those 10 months. And it was very difficult for me because everything up to that point, naturally, I felt like I was good at, that I tried and really committed to. And I think it was God just teaching me like, hey, I'm in charge. Like, lean unto me, not unto you. And and that failure and learning that he's in charge and all success comes through him has been a pivotal moment for my life, because everything that I've been able to do, everything that I will do, I give him all credit and all glory, and it's just part of his plan. And for some reason, if he decides that I succeed or fail, it's for his children's benefit. And that's served me at a really high level to not trust in the flesh and not to get spiritual on you, but that's something that's been a guiding lesson throughout my life currently, and hopefully forever will be.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Dude, that's cool. What are some things you wish you would have known before you started your journey, if any?
Yeah. I think of a story of Todd Peterson. I was hearing him at iHub. He came and spoke. And a question was asked him, and very similar. It said, do you have any regrets? And he said, I don't have any regrets, but if I could go back and do it different, I would have thought bigger.
Bigger, faster.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have dreamed bigger, faster, would have thought bigger, faster. And here's this dude. Literally, I don't know of somebody personally. I don't personally know somebody. There are people that has played at a bigger level than him.
Right.
And he plays massive in everything that he does. Like from the things he buys to his clothes and how he interacts with people. Like, he just plays big, and I love it. And so him saying that is like, dude, if Todd Peterson thinks he's thinking small,
and that's his regret?
Yeah, bro, we are thinking very small. So I actually feel the same. I think the world belongs to those that are willing to think big enough to receive it. The difference between the billionaire and the dude that makes 100 million, I truly believe, is just a difference in thinking. And
10x is bigger than 2x.
Yeah.
Huh.
And if I could start over, I would have just dream bigger, faster.
Dude, I love your answers, bro. Dude, that's really cool. Yeah, it's crazy for Todd to say that, and it's crazy for you to say that, because, like, dude, I don't know anyone that makes 118K their first summer and then 400, then $1 million. Like, you played big fast.
Thanks, man.
Like, yeah, you could have played bigger. Like,
yeah,
I didn't do that, and I could have, like, if I would have really just dreamed bigger and really believed in myself more of what more I'm capable of, I would have probably done it. Yeah. You know, but 100%. Like, dude, I love that. Dude, I'm going to rewatch this and like take a bunch of notes, because this is insane. And I'm like getting so many ideas while we're talking.
Yeah, dude, I have as well. One thing I want to say on that. So the thing that Ben and I talk about all the time is your process, your system, your plan is based upon your goal, right? So if your goal is to go do $1 million of revenue in door-to-door sales with your downline, that plan, the strategy, the systems and the processes you need to create are significantly different than you having a goal to go do 10 million. It's actually not harder. It's just a different pathway. It's a different strategy. It's a different process. It's a different system. It's different people. And so what people don't understand about goals is they think it's like, this is either easier or harder. It's actually, it's all neutral. It's just, there's different pathways to get there. And the larger the goal, the bigger the frame, the less pathways there are to get there. But there are still pathways to get there. Does that make sense?
You're blowing my mind, like, dude, this is crazy. That makes so much sense, because if you're playing small, if you're playing at like what's happened in the past, or you're living in the present, like, you're going to do different things than if you were playing at a higher level and thinking bigger and playing from the future outcome, working backwards. It makes a lot of sense. What are some of your favorite habits?
It's a great question. The first one that comes to mind is, and I like to consider this a habit, is going on a date with my wife each week. I look forward to that a bunch. I like, dude, I've been so imbalanced the last like 5 or 6 years. So I wish, this is probably a regret, I wish I'd spent more time on myself. The last 5 or 6 years, I'm now getting into like all these new habits of going to the gym, setting time for scripture study, things like that in the past I think I've neglected more than I should have, just because it's like, dude, I'm in recruiting mode. I got a meeting at 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. and you know what I mean? And so I say that with vulnerability, saying I haven't been very great at habits. specifically routines for myself. And it's a new phase that I'm in where I'm establishing more habits in my life so that I could be the best version of myself. Some of those look like an effective scripture study, quality time, no phone down, like no phone, spending time with my son. It's having an in-person meeting with my assistant every week and getting really dialed in for my week. Weekly planning has been something that's absolutely altered my life. Done that since I was 18 years old. Those are the few that come to mind.
Bro, I love it. And I'd add too, like, dude, something I've noticed about you is like your addiction to reading. Like,
yeah,
you read 50 plus books a year, like, and you always have an audiobook in your ear. I don't know if that's still the case, but like,
it's
dude,
dropped off. I need to get back to that.
Dude, that's awesome.
Thanks.
What's something that you've done that we should all do?
Something I've done that we should all do is sit down and get real clear about exactly what you want out of life. And build and like legit see what your future is. And I think a lot of people say they know where they're going, but they actually truly don't. Brandon Turner over the weekend, legit to the degree of he built out an AI figure showing what he wants to look like physically. To that level of planning his future or what direction he wants to go in that specific category. Do that in every category of your life. What does a 10 out of 10 look like spiritually? What does a 10 out of 10 look like physically, financially? How much money do you want to make? By what time do you want to make that? When do you want to be retired? What kind of house do you want to live in? Geographically, where do you want to live? How many kids do you want? Like, just be a man of purpose. Know everything that you want to have out of life, and things aren't going to always end up that way, and that might not be God's will. But if you ask me how many kids do you want or where do you want to live, I have all those answers because I have my life mapped out. And it may or may not go that way, but I know what direction I'm going to. And I would never be able to operate the way I've operated without having perfect clarity on where I'm heading. The thing that's come into fruition with Ben Hardy is simply just a byproduct of knowing at some point I need to go to the next level to accomplish what I want to accomplish by the time I want to accomplish it and what I've laid out for my life. So that boldness, those requests, what's come to fruition was simply a byproduct of just knowing where I was going.
Bro, and think bigger, faster too.
Yeah.
Like, don't hold back. Like,
yeah, dude. You can retire by 30. Tons of people have done it. You can live in the $5 million house. There's thousands of people in every city that have it. You know what I mean? It's like, why not you?
I want to see Blake's top 10. Can we get some of these goals out here?
Let's do it, dude.
Publicly or privately?
You want it?
Yeah. Let's hear some of your big ones.
So one is to give a TED Talk that goes viral. I have a TED Talk in January.
No.
Yeah, believe it or not. From top 10, bro. Another one is to buy a private jet by 28.
Beechcraft.
No.
Different one.
GC200. Another one is New York Times bestselling author. Another one is to have an exit of 9 figures before the age of 30. Another one is to live in the Berkshires by the age of 30.
In Utah?
Yeah, it's Dave's.
Dave Allred.
Yeah, that neighborhood.
Casey's old neighborhood, yeah.
Let's see, dude. Those are probably
Dude, those are freaking...
another one's to do a bodybuilding show. I'm doing one in April, so far out. But
You're
I'm
making it happen, bro. Bro, we gotta talk. How'd you get the TED Talk stuff happening?
Dude, once again, the future belongs to those that ask. So I've been writing a TED Talk for the last 12 months. And then I got connected to a guy that had a connection to a girl that could help you get on a TED Talk. So I hit her up, we talk, I give her the pitch, And then she connects me and gets me solidified to a TED Talk. I'll put you on if you want.
Oh, can I do a TED Talk?
Yeah.
Talk about proximity.
Yeah, dude. I'll connect you.
Bro, holy cow. The more I get to know Blake, dude, just the more inspired I am. Like, it's awesome, bro.
I appreciate it.
Okay, this question, 3, 2, 1 pivot. What are 3 books that have impacted you the most and why? 2 people and 1 quote.
3 books: Think and Grow Rich, How to Win Friends and Influence People, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Just the OGs, but there's a reason why they're the OGs. 2 people. Outside of what I already said previously, I would say my mission presence has significantly impacted me. And then my wife, Bree, unbelievable. Don't deserve her. Has impacted me greatly. And then what was the last one?
1 quote and why?
1 quote. Let me see if I can pull one out for you. I've got a list of quotes.
Or like philosophy you live by.
Oh, dude, here's a recent one that I've loved. Produce work so good that it can't be ignored. Here's why I like that. I think we live in a world today where everyone's trying to brand themselves. And it's like, how can I produce content? Like, how can I brand myself? How can I level up my brand and how people see me or my credibility? And the answer to that is just produce such good stuff, results. Be somebody so good that you can't be ignored. Have results so good that you can't be ignored. Understand and learn things and put it in a way so good that it can't be ignored. And so that's something that's been relevant to me lately, is just create things that are so good that people can't ignore them.
Blake, I know that you read that many books. Like, you're just so well educated, bro.
Thanks,
it's
brother.
Insane. And you're obsessed with it. And I feel like I am too. I saw Casey's eyes when he told me how much books have changed his life. I saw Tony Robbins, I saw my dad, and I just believed it and I did it. And now I'm telling you, like, it works. And it's really cool, dude. To your point of, like, put out the best, be the best you can, put out the best content, be the best person, the best leader. Because, like, Alex Hormozy talks about this, like, if you just focus, I'll give you an example, okay? He says, if you go into business selling bologna sandwiches and they're not really good, it's literally a piece of meat and bread and some mustard. If you sell that and you open up a store selling bologna sandwiches, and no matter how much you spend on marketing, like, that business isn't going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere, because even if you spend so much on marketing, those people that watch your stuff about your bologna sandwich are going to be like, oh, I've tried that, it sucks, don't try it. And you're just going to never, no matter how much you spend on marketing, like, your business is never going to go anywhere. But if you focus on the product and you make it the best sandwich out there, it's going to sell itself. No matter how good you are at marketing or sales, the product trumps marketing and sales.
Beautiful.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I had never thought of that. Like, it's not like
you
don't even need to promote the sandwich because it promotes itself. Tony doesn't even need to promote Date with Destiny because he's got guys like me that are so sold on it because it's such a good experience and product. It sells itself. Crazy, huh?
Gangster.
Alex Hormozy, shout out. Dude, the guy knows what the frick he's talking about. But basically what his point was is, like, if you just focus on making whatever you're doing better, that has leverage, the most leverage that you could do. So focus on doing whatever you're doing better before you do anything different. Or add more things. Like, so many people do that I see, like, I'm doing this. I'm like, you're not going to be the best at any of those. But if you focus on one thing,
dude,
and do it the best you can, bro, it's over. It's
It's
over.
true, bro. Brandon over the weekend was talking about your Dr. Oz cut. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Small story for the viewers, but Dr. Oz, you guys know him. He had a team all set up, all systematized to do literally everything on every single surgery except the cut for the surgery. So Dr. Oz would come in. He wouldn't even grab his scalpel off the thing. It would be handed to him. And within 20 seconds, he would make the cut. He would hand the scalpel to somebody, and then he would leave. And every time he did that, he'd make $100,000. And he just leaned into his one thing. And so the question is, what's your Dr. Oz cut? What's the one thing that you could specialize in that could be the thing you go all in and known for? Because when you specialize, you make specialist money. When you're a generalist, you just make general money.
Dude, I want to clap right now, but I feel like it's inappropriate. But holy shiz, it's true though. Like, what's your Dr. Oz cut?
Are you asking me?
No, like,
Yeah.
Think about it.
Well, dude, people think it's so cool to have 7 things going on.
Yeah. It's not.
Honestly, when I hear that, I'm like very turned off.
Very worried.
I'm like, cool. Sorry, buddy.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Dude, and what Benjamin said too, one big takeaway was, don't do anything unless you can be the best at it. Like, what can you be the best at? Can you be the best recruiter? Can you be the best salesman? Can you be the best author? Can you be the best podcaster? And if you don't think you can, you should probably figure out what you could do the best and do that. Pause, long pause, dramatic pause, right? But like, think about it. Blake, this has been incredible. Let me ask you this. What gets you excited in life right now? You got so much cool things going on. You got a TED Talk. You freaking are about to launch a book with a New York Times bestselling author. What gets Blake excited in life right now?
Yeah, I feel really blessed, by the way, and I'm grateful for all those things. I think I get excited. Everything that drives me is just about building my dream life. Like, that's the root of it all, you know? Like, I get excited for one day where I get to coach all my kids' sports games. I get excited to one day hopefully go and serve a mission with my wife. I get excited about having a house like Dave Allred's. So
such a cool house.
Maybe it's not healthy, but I live in the future a bunch, and that's what motivates me a ton. Like, your future determines your present, not your past. And so my future determines my present a ton. And like, it's why it's always like, I can't stop, you know, because I'm never there. The future keeps evolving, which is so fun. So the future fulfills me. Impacting people fulfills me. Learning fulfills me. Developing skills that I don't have fulfills me. Taking risks and being in the unknown, like, gets me really excited. So those are all things that are super exciting right now, because I don't know how the TED Talk's going to go. I don't know how the book's
crush it.
I don't know how the book's going to land, right? Like, I have my opinions, but it's unknown, it's uncertain. And so what can I do in the present to affect those results significantly? And that's what excites me.
Dude, you're doing it, bro.
Thanks, brother.
You're freaking doing it.
I hope so.
Bro, I'm so excited for you. Like, it's so cool to see you crush it, and I'm so pumped to hype up your book and freaking promote the crap out of you.
Thank you, man.
Like,
you're
actually,
awesome, brother. I appreciate that a ton.
Dude, and it's cool. Like, you're going to get the life you want, but not only that, dude, you're going to freaking make such a difference in the world. Like, you're changing my life right now, and I know there's so many people that have been lucky enough to, like, work for you that I know you've made a positive impact on their lives.
Thank you.
And that, posted a clip of this from Casey the other day, but every decision you make, every person you talk to is either creating positive ripples or negative ripples. And those ripples go long, forever. Those ripples are made forever from even after you pass. Like, you're leaving positive or negative ripples. Bro, you're making waves, bro.
That means a lot, brother.
You're making waves.
For real,
and they're
thank you.
Dude, they're going to stick around. Like, It's really cool.
Thank
and I'm
you,
just
man.
like, I'm going to ride on Blake's coattails. Like, I just,
Bro, thank you,
dude, you're a beast. What are 3 things that you have done in the past year that has improved your life the most?
So in the past year, my word for the year has actually been elimination. I got caught up doing so much. And
did you get that from the book?
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but
Yeah.
the elimination of hurry, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
No, I actually got this from Ben. So Ben
Okay.
talks a lot about this in 10X.
Yeah.
But also in this upcoming book. The real reality, to go to the next level, it's not a game of addition, it's a game of subtraction. And I also heard another quote that said, diluted focus creates diluted results. And I looked at my life and I was like, man, where's my focus at? And I realized how diluted it was. It was like, cool, I got this podcast. Cool, I'm trying to build this brand. I've got real estate. I've got building my sales organization, trying to write a book. You know what I mean? And I just said, man, what if I could eliminate all of it and go all in on one thing, inch wide, mile deep? And when this opportunity with Ben came up, I just said, cool, that's my one thing. And so the best thing I've done in the last year is I've eliminated most things out of my life that was taking time or energy, such as I own like a podcast studio, sold it. I put a pause to my podcast for the time being, put a pause on creating content for the time being, was taking a lot of energy from me. I was going super deep into real estate. I got out of the deals that I was currently in, put a pause to it. So those were like some big things that I was allocating a lot of time and energy towards. And it's allowed me to have so much more focus, so much more presentness, and then also to be able to make moves that I couldn't have made before because I didn't have time or focus to do so.
The bandwidth, yeah. Wow. That's really good. Diluted, wait, say that one more time.
Diluted focus creates diluted results.
I love that. Dude, you're so good, bro. You're 26, are you sure? Show me your birth certificate. No, I'm just kidding. Dude, that's awesome. And like to see what you've been able to do since high school is just insane. Like you've been on this trajectory that's exponential, and bro, you're like right here on it. It's like gonna go like that for you.
Thank you.
Like I can feel it.
I hope so.
Okay, next question. We'll wrap up here in a second. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. On your deathbed, what do you want to be known for, or what do you hope people say about you?
It's a beautiful question. On my deathbed, I hope people say 2 things. First thing is that Blake Erickson impacted me for good, and that's vague, but that can be translated in hopefully he helped me make more money. Hopefully he helped me become closer to Christ. Hopefully he helped me be a better husband, father, son, business owner. Hopefully he impacted me for good. So every conversation I have with someone, I want to have an impact to some degree. And then second, I hope people know and feel that I have a testimony of Christ, and that I've helped persuade them to live at a higher level spiritually and to follow Christ to the best of their ability.
Wow. Dude, I love you.
I love you
such
too,
a
brother.
good soul.
You're an amazing hype man, dude. I need to come do a pod with you.
Dude, I'm gonna
every other
hype you up
week
all
just
day.
to get just to get some compliments, dude.
Dude, I love that. Okay, last question. If you had the world's attention for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, what would you want them to know?
I would say you can have the life that you want to have. As simple as that. I don't care if you come from less fortune, or if maybe your childhood was messed up, or the hand you got dealt isn't phenomenal. You can go win still. Just like in poker, dude. I don't care if you have the absolute worst hand, you can still win.
odds are stacked
Yeah.
against you.
It depends upon how you play and how you choose to respond to your hand is ultimately what's going to determine if you go get the reward. Some people have a better hand in life. It's just the fact of the matter. But the reality is we're all playing the same game. We're all on the same playing field, and the player is the person that ends up getting the reward. You could have a hand that's unbelievable, but you end up bowing out, and you don't end up winning because you just didn't play effectively. And so you can win. You can have everything that you want out of life, and there's going to be bumps and bruises and obstacles along the way that you might not be able to foresee, but the world's yours. You can go make it happen. You can go create it.
Wow. It's like the greatest salesman quote. Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough.
Look at that, dude.
Dude.
That's a bar.
It's a bar. But, like, dude, I agree 100%. Like, no matter what's happened in your life, life doesn't happen to you. It's happened for you. And the moment you go from victim to victor is the moment your life changes. Wow, bro, this has been so fun. If you've gotten value, guys, no matter what, go follow Blake. He's gonna impact your life for the best. And go share this episode if you think that it could help somebody else. And Blake, we'll have to get you back on the show like tomorrow, because bro, we could still go deep.
I look forward to it, man. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Dude, it's awesome, man. I'm freaking stoked. Thanks again for coming on, and until next time, boys and
Appreciate
girls,
it.
peace.